That is where now, as a returnee,
Yeah.
you any other problems,
Okay.
a problem after a problem. Every month, somebody is being conned. A lot of people started giving us stories of what their fathers have done to them, what their mothers, their uncles, their brothers, their sister, anyone that you can mention. I know a lady who came from Switzerland.
Okay.
Anaokota makaratasi leo. Mamake alimwambia nyumba inaendelea, picha zinapigwa from nowhere, and then anatumiwa picha. But it's so easy to be convinced that the land is good and it's good for investments. You know, when you come back in Kenya, you realize that you need like 20 more years to wait for it to develop.
Yeah.
So cases are, there are so many cases, I'm telling you. Some of them are just complaining. Some of them even tell me, like, just help me. I want to recover my money. So the person has lost land, has lost money, and has no communication. At least even when I consult a lawyer, they tell me, come with those risks. But then the employees, and I mean the people that I was giving to do this work for me were not honest. They think ni ule jamaa wa diaspora, ni ule jamaa wa maju. So service ya 1,000 ni ya 10,000 kwao.
Happy Customer Service Week. My name is Juliet Mudoy. This is 3T TV and we are coming to you live from Mary Point Chicken Gardens. These people are cuckoo about chicken, specifically Kienyeji chicken. So today we have an interesting guest, like we always do, a gentleman who is very passionate about helping people who are in the diaspora. He's going to tell us more. He's been in the diaspora also. He's going to tell us where he has been, for how long, how he ended up there, what he was doing there, and what he is doing now that he's back. Karibu sana, Jeff.
Asante.
Thank you for coming here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Tueleze majina yako. And then let us know your journey, where you were, how you ended up there, and what you're doing now.
Okay.
Yes.
Once again, my name is Joffrey Mudoy. I'm known as Jeff, as you said.
Yes. Joffrey.
Yes, that's my name.
And what do you do?
I am a guy who is very passionate about bridging the gap between the diaspora people and returnees and the opportunities of the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about diaspora, specifically where in the diaspora?
By diaspora, I mean people who have left Kenya and are in any country outside Kenya, but they feel like they're very far from their motherland. Once they earn money there, they want to come and invest in Kenya, or they want to invest while they're still there.
Yes.
So they face many problems, and that is why, regardless of whichever country you are in, I try to communicate with them and help them now to get the opportunities for investments, and also to understand how the business environment is before they invest or before they send their money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't matter which country you are from.
Okay.
I just mean wherever is outside the country of Kenya. Yeah.
So this means you've also been in the diaspora, right?
I've been to the diaspora.
Yes.
Yeah, for the last, from 2012 to 2017, I was in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Yeah. In Arabic we call it the Al-Mamlaka Al-Arabiya Saudiya.
Okay, so that is where you were.
That's where I was.
You were working there.
Yeah, I was working
How was
there.
the experience there?
It was good. I can't complain. I would go back there anytime.
Really?
I promised my wife to go to. I want to take her next year, God willing. I want to take her for a holiday in the same country after spending 7 years there. So I had a good experience, and I liked the country. Yeah.
So you were there for 7 years, and your employer was a very good person.
He was a very good person. The only challenges that I faced was that, Saudi is a country with so many foreigners. So most of my workmates were from different other countries, from like almost all continents. So the challenges were just dealing with people from these other countries, from the Asia specifically. Pakistanis, Sri Lankas, Bangladeshi, India. Those are the people that we usually had differences, but not the employer himself. He was a very good person.
Okay.
Even today, I made no money there.
Yes.
I'll first say that Saudi is good and is bad depending on who you ask. And that's a country, just like where you come from. The country of Kenya has its own rules and regulations where every foreigner or visitor has to abide with. So once you go there, you try to learn the rules of that country, the customs, the religion, what they like, what they don't like. And once you understand them and live by them,
Okay.
you will never have any problem with that country. Never have. Probably people who work in houses, they have their own issues because they're dealing with these families every day, day and night, with ladies, people who are educated or not. But for majority of Kenyans who are there, they are living their life and they're liking it. I have many friends who are still there even today, including ladies who, if you try telling them to come back to Kenya and invest, mnakosana sana.
Wanataka tu kukaa.
They want to stay there until they have accomplished their goals.
But you've made a very valid point. There are challenges everywhere, even in Kenya. There are challenges.
Yes, everywhere, everywhere. Depends on how you see things. Even me myself, when I had the name Saudi Arabia was not a good name to me, because when I left this country,
Okay.
I had first gone. I mean, the way I knew Saudi Arabia was a country I would go to. I had gone to ask a certain friend of mine why he had agreed to take her daughter there.
Okay.
Because I knew Saudi as a hell,
Okay.
some kind of hell for people. But when he explained to me a few things here and there about how good the country is, I decided to give it a shot. Yeah, and I applied and I went there. So I think because of the previous stories that I had heard from people and from TVs, and that negative perception about the country, I had a difficult time in the very first months of that country, because hata kama nilikuwa natembea nigongwe na jiwe, I would say now this is Saudi Arabia that I used to hear. If a friend of mine would drink water alafu amwage kidogo inifikie, I would say this is the Saudi Arabia I've been hearing about. Because I had that perception. When your mind is negative, everything else around you is negative. The contrary is true. When your mind is positive, everything around you is good. Plus, I'm a Christian. I prayed a lot before I left this country.
What prompted you to leave Kenya and go to Saudi?
That's a good question. After college, I was attached to the Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization, CARO, and I was also working with Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. While there, I was in Kari. I was doing IT, and I was also doing some socio-economics project, working with socio-economists. So I was moving around the country doing research, data collection, entry and processing and analysis and creating presentations for them. That is when after I was done with attachment, there was a promise of employment because they liked my work in IT and also what I was doing in the field. But it was during the post-election violence, how the post-election violence victims were complaining that they had not been compensated, they have not been paid, all these things. So they kept halting employment, and so I was not getting employment in this institution. But before I left, or after this volunteer, after the period of attachment ended, I decided to volunteer as I wait. But I ended up staying there for 3 years, volunteering.
Wait a minute. Volunteering 1, 2, 3 years.
3 good years.
No pay, nothing.
Well, I would be paid in honoraria. You know that honoraria? Honoraria is the amount of money that they cannot really attach some value to it, but they want to give you, they want to pay you for the work that you do for them. I was doing a good job in Kari, now it's called Karo. I was doing a good job there, so the director would just, sometimes I would go to the field and be paid as a data collector or assistant researcher. Then when I was volunteering, that is when I took my passport. As I waited to see how I can, because I wanted to go to Britain, once I am employed in Kari, to further my studies. As now I am there as a volunteer, and I have a passport, but socioeconomists from Jomo Kenyatta University would come to Kari to partner and work together. So that is when they took me and took me to Jomo Kenyatta to do more research with Japanese who are coming to see where their money is being utilized.
Okay.
So I started taking Japanese around the country. So I was getting money in Jomo Kenyatta
Okay.
and getting money in Kari. But it was not sufficient for me because it was seasonal.
Okay.
And with my passport now, and I not being employed, every time being told that, the government has halted employment, or I missed employment by a whisker, because post-election, all monies of the government is being taken to the post-election violence victims.
Yes.
I realized like I was moving around in circles,
Okay.
and my life had to continue.
Okay.
Now I have a passport, and in that particular time, I had received a call from someone, a strange number. I didn't even know how the codes from Saudi Arabia were. So somebody called me and said, "Hey, how are you? My name is this," and I was like, I did not know. The second time she called, so I went to the friends of the person that I thought she was, and I asked them, "Where is this person?" "Ah, she left a long time ago. She's in Saudi."
Okay.
And then I went, during a certain event, I went and asked the father of this lady, "Why did you take your daughter to that country?"
Okay.
Then he was relaxed and told me, "Don't worry, there's a good country. I know the country. I have taken the. It's not the first time that she has been there. I speak with the agents who took the lady there. I speak with the employers, so she can come back anytime when she has any problem." And I didn't feel convinced, but he told me, "If you want, I can also take you there."
Okay.
Him being the person I respected, I didn't want to tell him that I don't want anything like that, because I still felt like I wanted to work, at least get some money every month, as opposed to how I was getting in Kari for 3 months and 4 months. I'm not doing
Sure,
anything.
sure.
That is when I was sleeping one day. He called me while he was in Nairobi and told me, "Come back, Moy Avenue, meet me there. I will tell you something." So very, very fast I went there. It was so fast that he told me, "See, you told me that you were asleep." "Yes, but that was so fast." No, from Nairobi to Thika is a short distance. At Thika Road ilikuwa shamaliza kutengenezwa, so it was haraka haraka. Akaniambia, "Before I tell you anything, usifikirie ni vitu zangu na cook, let me take you to the chamber. I mean to the agent." I went to the agent, akaniambia story, akaniambia, "You have to pay this for the chamber, for the registration, for this." And then I had money in my account, in my pocket. But when they told me they had to pay more than 1,000, I felt like I don't want to waste my money here. Even though this is my uncle, when I came here, Shingo Upande,
Yes.
I want to do my own research, and ensure that I'm going with the right agency,
Yes.
and I'm going to a company that is existing.
Yes.
So I went to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Labor. I did all this search. First, I told them, "Sina pesa, wacha nika withdraw." I went and did this research, and then I came back now to pay the money when I was convinced. So I went to Saudi. Nikitaka feel ninafanya kazi. I felt I have a passport that is iko tu hapo.
Yes.
And when I was convinced that it's a company and not just a place that I thought I would go and start suffering,
Sure.
nika take that risk, and then I went there.
So ni kazi gani ulikuwa umeambiwa unaenda kufanya kule?
That's a construction company.
Okay. Okay.
So when I was there, since there was no job that was advertised as an IT job or vacancy, I did a few things here and there as I waited, because I had my documents.
Sure.
So I told the owner of the company that this is what I'm qualified to do, and then I was transferred to the IT department, which is when I rose to the point where I was in charge of the CCTV installations and maintenance. For 7 years, I was the only Kenyan in the office that I was working in, and I was the only black person, so to speak.
Yes.
The rest were Filipinos and Pakistanis.
Okay.
So, but I had that position of being the one in charge. I had my vehicle, nilikuwa nimepewa gari yangu, na advantages zingine zenye watu hupewa wakiwa.
That's an absolutely positive story from Saudi Arabia.
When I was in that country, I told you 7 years, 7 good years.
Yes.
That's a long time when you have not done anything in Kenya. I decided to invest some money so that I can grow some business, or I can start a business and grow it when I'm still there. Because even though I'm telling you it was a good country, East or West, home is the best. I used to feel like I want to go back in Kenya and start things or feel home again, and start my own thing, because I wanted to start a family, and I could not start a family. I could not have started a family while I was there. I did not want to marry when I was there, because I was reading, studying, and doing many other things. So I had to make a decision of investing back at home. My dad had given me an advice and told me, when you go to a foreign land, you don't take things there.
No.
You go there to take things and bring them back home. So I was very keen on reading and understanding what Kenyans back at home were doing or elsewhere around the world, so that I can copy something and then maybe try and invest in Kenya. So that is why I began with investing. I started with an M-Pesa shop.
Yes.
But it ended up failing because I didn't have people who were doing due diligence for me. But my father helped me to set up that shop
Yes.
with another cousin of mine.
Yes.
So when I sent the money,
Yes.
all they did was to buy a registered line
Yes.
that was already operational. I don't know, it was already working with somebody
Yes.
else, but then he sold it to us.
Okay.
Yeah, but the M-Pesa failed to work because I did not have people who were serious enough on the ground, which is what many people in diaspora face. They have started something, but somebody to follow up and ensure that it's working is what many people lack when there is diaspora. Now, on the issue of land, I bought land through a relative. He promised me that the land was good. It was somewhere in Nyahururu.
Okay.
And then I was very passionate. I took money. I took a loan actually from my company, the employer. They gave it to me generously, and I sent this money to this uncle of mine,
Okay.
and he bought the land for me.
Okay.
So in November 2014, I was so much eager to come to Kenya. Not because I wanted to come to Kenya, but I wanted to ensure that I was so happy to hear that I have a title deed. You know, I had left the country when I was still an attaché, you know, a volunteer in the Kenya Agricultural Research Organization and Livestock Organization. So I was feeling proud that I have a title deed. So I was coming to ensure that before I finish paying for this piece of land, I want to see my title deeds.
Okay.
Yeah, but when I went to see the land where it was, oh my God, ni zile places za ukiachwa na gari mpaka kesho. It was not what was previously in my mind, not what I had been told. For him, he had no problem because he just wanted land. But for me, I wanted land that I would come back home and utilize very fast, and it would give me money. First piece of land. But economically, up to now, unless, for example, you do some farming, it's not a land that is readily, that you can readily transfer or convert it to liquid money. I think I myself had not also realized that I needed somebody who could, a second opinion, who could go and ensure that the piece of land that I'm being told is somewhere is exactly where I think it is. So I did not think about it for the second time. So I just took money and then I sent him. And I realized later that I needed somebody who would have at least go to the ground and seen the land and then give me a neutral opinion. Yeah.
Now that is where you're coming in and helping people who are in the diaspora.
I had other two pieces of land.
Okay.
Those ones are still there, but they don't have, at least for the other one, it has a title deed. But for these two other ones, they don't have title deeds. I can't use it. I can't take a loan against it. I can't use it as a collateral. I can't sell it. I can't go to farm on it because I don't even know whether somebody can come from nowhere and start telling me that this is my piece of land. Yeah, but I'm still following up, and there are good reports that maybe might come out good. But you see, the time that I have spent from the time I came back here without even going to visit or going to do anything on a piece of land is a lot of time. I would have done a lot of things if the land was ready. And I'm not alone. I think a lot of people, actually that is what made me to even go deep into thinking and doing research into understanding what other people are going through. I had understood this even when I was in the diaspora, because I had friends, colleagues, workmates where we would share, or we would actually discuss how we would invest back in Kenya. Somebody would tell me that, no, I don't want to try land because I tried recently, and even today nothing has happened. I don't have that title deed. I don't know where that land is. And there are so many stories that I've gotten from that time. And even when I came back here, we did a survey, and we realized that there are a lot of people in diaspora, yeah, who are complaining that they don't have what they were looking for.
Okay,
Yeah.
to be true.
I have so many examples.
Okay.
As I told you, we also did a survey, and people were so generous with their stories. They were giving us things. Actually, the first one was I sent some questions or a survey to the groups in diaspora because I wanted to know how they would. I wanted to start my work from a professional point of view.
Okay.
Yes, I knew the stories, I knew people, my colleagues, my friends, but I wanted to start from a professional point of view, and that is when we did this survey. And a lot of people came and started giving us stories of what their fathers have done to them, what their mothers, their uncles, their brothers, their sister, anyone that you can mention. All of these people that you trust when you're out of the country and you think that they are good people, they cannot con you, they cannot take any of your money, or they cannot, or they convince you that they are going to oversee the project to its completion with transparency and professionalism. So a lot of people gave us stories to the point where I had to tell the admins of the groups, please stop the comments and delete my post. Because I would see somebody I know posting about her father or his brother, and these people are my friends and probably in the same groups. But they don't care. They don't care who is going to see because they have seen enough. Yeah. When they're trying to invest, when they're trying to send money back in Kenya, only to come back and find nothing. And people are always suicidal, or some of them even go nuts. Wengine wanakuwa chizi kabisa.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Kufanya kazi
I know a
huko.
lady who came from Switzerland.
Okay.
Anaokota makaratasi leo. Mamake alimwambia nyumba inaendelea, picha zinapigwa from nowhere, and then anatumiwa picha. But by the time she came back here, unajua tena ukitoka kule unaacha kama umetusi watu, sitaki maneno yenu, unabebelezwa na visa na kazi zingine, hutaki juu you have had enough of that country, but you just want to go home. Mabeshte zako wakikuuliza what is happening, mwambia mimi niko na nyumba, angalia nini kila kitu niko nayo, just going to settle down. Ukifika Kenya hakuna kitu. Nothing.
And you've already burnt that bridge kule. Umewambia utaki job.
You have already burnt the bridge. You don't want. You have banged the doors. You don't want any of their friendships.
Yes.
But when you come back here in Kenya, it's a mess. That is where now, as a returnee, you encounter so many other problems. A problem after a problem, another. Because first you are not able to assimilate yourself back to the community. Because you are seen as somebody from abroad. You have a lot of money.
Kutoka majuu.
Yeah, ametoka majuu huyu. Wanaangalia gari yenye una drive. Wanaangalia zile pubs unaendanga. Wenye unapeleka mabeshte zako. Wanaangalia zile nguo unavaa.
Of course.
But after realize there was nothing that ulikuwa umeseviwa ama umejengewa, that is when you start going into hiding. You don't want to see your friends because you don't want them to know the reality. Yeah. First you're running away from your parents and from the relatives that told you that they have invested for you, and then you start running away from the friends. Because you don't want to tell them the story. You go into hiding, or some even go suicidal and maybe they lose their lives in the process. Some are able to, recover from that trauma, and they go back to the country that they came from. They humble themselves. Because even the jobs that you think that you want to start here, you're not comfortable doing those jobs. People see you as somebody who is advanced, somebody who has seen a lot abroad. So they think that you're going to employ them. But then you're coming to look for a job that is low level, that other people don't even understand what you are doing out there. You remember, you don't want to give them the story.
Yes.
But you are accepting jobs that you never thought that you would do. Yes.
Wow. So now, this is where you're coming in aid of diaspora and returnees.
Yeah. Diaspora people and people who are returning from diaspora.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you help them?
In several ways.
Okay.
People in diaspora who have not yet decided, because by the time, when you leave the country, when you leave this country or any other country that you live, you leave a lot of things. You abandon a lot of things, even your own house and your the goods in the house, in the furniture and everything else. You give them to people because you're going to where the money is.
Yes.
So everyone believes that you've gone to get a lot of money, and once you land there, it's true. There are the struggles that you face, but before you now understand how the system works, you've spent a lot of time.
Yes.
So when you are there, you don't want to risk coming back to this country before you invest, or before you buy a piece of land, or before you buy a house, or before you do something like a business, or open a company and probably operate it from remotely, operate the company from from where you are, while it's still in Kenya.
Okay.
In that process, you start thinking, exploring opportunities.
Okay.
You hear stories from TVs and radios or friends about land, buroti, maguta,
Yes.
you know, zile zina uzma, mafuta vile ziko poa.
Sure.
And then you end up investing with the wrong companies, with the wrong people, with the wrong relatives, with the wrong, even the lawyers become corrupt and everybody else. So how I'm coming in is to ensure that when you are there, you have to be, you will be comfortable investing in whatever area you're investing in, especially on land. And when you try to open a company or business, we do the market research as well. Business market research. So where you will be comfortable at the comfort of your couch back there. We'll do every research that you need, every survey that you want, and then due diligence and ensure that your land and the piece of land that you want to buy is there. We'll give you neutral information. We don't say this plot is bad or it's good, because there is also the aspect of the seller. We don't want to sell to spoil the business of the seller, the land, or whatever you are offering. So we just give them neutral information about the place or the piece of land that they want to invest in. That is one thing, due diligence. And then if you want to buy land, probably you don't trust those people. We can do this for you. We can do this for you. On that part of doing research on land, we go there and tell you how the neighborhood is, the development of that area. That is the tarmac or maram or the hospitals, the electricity, and everything else, the schools in that area. So you understand that the plot of land that you're buying is developed already, so that you know whether when you are going there, you are going to develop the land, you're going to be the first person to erect a structure there. So there is also the aspect of project oversight. Somebody may have started the project, but they're not very sure whether they are being conned or considerable amount of money is being diverted to another source or to another place. So sometimes we go there and ensure that what the agreement says with the projects, the owner of the projects and the people implementing it at the ground is what exactly is happening. So we give an expert's advice and scrutiny of the project, and then we give a report to that person who is in the diaspora.
For how long have you been doing this?
In the last, from 2019. From 2019 July. That is when I conceived this idea, and up to date.
So far, so good. How many cases have you closed? How many people can you say you've helped?
The solid ones, that I more than, I think, 15.
Wow.
So cases there are so many cases, I'm telling you. Some of them are just complaining. Some of them even tell me, like, just help me. I want to recover my money, because the person says taking my phone calls. Then I pursue these people and ask them, the complainants now, who are in diaspora. I ask them, do you have like receipts? Do you have anything to prove that you sent money to these people, or at least the communication that you had? No, I trusted this person. I didn't know that this would happen. So the person has lost land, has lost money, and has no communication. At least even when I consult a lawyer, they tell me, come with those receipts, come with these messages, and then we'll start from there. But they don't have them. And I wonder why it happens, like, year in, year out. Every month somebody is being conned by people on the ground, saying that, pretending to be people who are genuine, taking advantage of diaspora. Actually, one of the challenges that we have when we are actually telling these people about what we are doing is being taken as one of the people on the ground who are conning people. And I feel bad because I know I have this I have diaspora matters in my heart,
Yeah.
and I try to do it with honesty and transparency. Sometimes I even see like I'm doing it as charity, in common as idea, yeah, without even considering the returns, the returns aspect of that work that I do. Yeah,
I can see you're very passionate about helping people who are in the diaspora.
I am, and I thank God for
I
that.
believe it's because you are there and you know the struggle.
I really feel for people who are in diaspora. At least I was not conned by anyone.
Okay.
Or the issue of actually investing in these circles as well is
Okay.
also another problem.
Okay.
Because I also invested much of my money. I think I didn't say that I bought shares.
You did?
I bought shares with the national carrier, the Kenya Airways.
Kenya Airways,
Yeah. When it was under Titus Naikuni, the CEO of the then CEO.
Okay.
But then it ended up, almost collapsing, and I had to withdraw my money very, very fast. So I had the M-Pesa, I had the KQ shares. I also tried to plant trees in that vast area of my land, but then the employees and the people that I was giving to do this work for me were not honest. They think ni ule jamaa wa diaspora, ni ule jamaa wa majuu. So service ya 1,000 ni ya 10,000 kwao. Kuna pesa. And probably they would not even do it. So I ended up not even planting those trees. And I was regretting when I came back here. I was saying I wish I had somebody who could help me so that I could have planted these trees, and probably I would have sold them when I came back here.
Sure.
Ikikuwa broke kidogo.
So what advice would you tell mtu wako diaspora ana pesa yake na anataka kuinvest back home? Because you've said east or west, home is best. At some point you'll want to come back home. What advice would you give them? How should they go about it?
I think they should not fear investing in Kenya. It pays to invest when you are there. And then as you work, as you continue with your company abroad, as you continue being employed somewhere or pursuing your ventures, your money, the project is bearing fruits. And by the time you come here, if it is the issue of land, it has appreciated. So that is a good thing. Don't fear investing. But when you invest, do due diligence. Partner with somebody on the ground who is going to give you a second opinion. Don't just trust somebody who is advertising. Yeah, don't trust somebody who is just advertising and saying that they have good, because that is business language. Yeah, that is business language of advertising. And because you don't want to fall prey or you don't want to lose your money, have somebody else to go on the ground.
Sure.
Sometimes it's not about your relative. It doesn't have to be your relative. Somebody, it can be a neutral person. Just pays. It's not much. Sometimes you just fuel the car and then pay that person just 1,000, just 1,000 shillings, and then anaenda nakufanyia research yake na nakupea information yote. You, instead of losing 50 million or 20 million, you only lose 2,000 or 3,000 by avoiding that project or doing it with a lot of confidence. Now that is one. Number two is to avoid paying everything in cash. Or if the project is worth 20,000,
yes.
20 million.
Yes.
Don't send your 20 million and give this person. You are tempting the person. How can I walk around the town with 20 million in my pocket or in my bank account, and I know you're not coming soon? The project itself is going to take like 5 years or 2 years. So if it's going to take 2 years and you're going to take more 5 years to come, then I have enough time probably to invest with this money of yours, and then I come. So what we do for us on our case, we try to do something we call milestone disbursements.
Yes.
Is you disburse your money after for example, we tell you that from where now we are to the foundation, we need 800K or a million. Once we do that, we'll show you with the video evidence and everything else that you need to see, because we also install cameras. You can be viewing this while you're still abroad. So you will send money after you've been satisfied that the first phase that you have done is complete.
Sure.
And you have seen this and you're satisfied. And then you spend you send the other amount of money for the other phase.
Okay.
Yes. So don't send money.
Don't send lump sum.
Don't send the entire amount of money that the project will cost you. and then entrust it to somebody who is on the ground. Whether it is your father or your mother, I've seen enough of cases of people complaining about mothers and sisters, and when you come back here, you can't take them to court.
You can.
You cannot fight them.
Yeah.
So you end up becoming crazy,
Yeah.
or going back to another country, and you don't talk to them any other time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is number 2.
Yeah.
Number 3, when you are in diaspora, don't stay there for 10 years and ati kuna project zako zinaendelea. Make a point of becoming, at least if it's not possible for 1 year, after 1 year, after 2 years, becoming on the ground. At least kwa ground mambo huwa different. See vile unasikia. So you talk with people, see where people are investing, see what the government is saying, what the government policies are, and how it is affecting the environment of investments, so that you understand yourself without being told. Because once you have been told, you either believe that one person, he could be a rogue person, or you end up asking many other people about this. You end up being confused. So it's good to come back in the country after 2 years, see what is happening, ask questions, and then go back. So by the time you're investing, you at least understand the scope of how the project is, the money you're going to spend, and who you are going to trust, and who you have to partner with. Yes, I purpose to make changes, not just to the economy of our country, but to ensure that people are contributing themselves, the diaspora people are contributing directly to the growth of the economy of Kenya through me or through us. I think I will be the proudest person, and ensuring that people in diaspora are investing without crying, without regretting. Where I stay, if you want to come kwetu, I will tell you, it's a certain place, mahali kuna nyumba haimalizikangi. That is how it is known, because it's a project of somebody from diaspora ambaye alijenga na haimalizikangi. So hata yeye give up on it. Iko tu hapo. So
those are the changes you want to make.
Whenever I pass by there, I feel so sorry for that person. And another person still who ni wengi sana. Wengi sana ambao kuna story hizi. Kama uko na time tutaongea zote.
Sawa.
Yes, so I will ensure that people in diaspora and people returning from diaspora, and sometimes even foreigners who want to come back here, because I have also worked with 2 foreigners who also wanted to do business in Kenya, but they wanted somebody, not just information from the government, but somebody whom they can trust to go around with, so that they can see where they want to invest, and at least be getting direct information from someone they can see and walk around with. So these are the things that we also do, and we also purpose to continue doing.
Sasa kuna mtu yuko diaspora ama yuko hapa and would like to contact you, probably akona investment anataka kufanya na angetaka mfanyie due diligence. How can they get in touch with you?
Oh, it's good. They can reach me through my number or email address that I can share. It's 0717 268 238. 0717 268 238. Or you can reach me through the email address Diaspora and Returnees. That is Diaspora and Returnees, not the ampersand. Diaspora and Returnees at gmail.com. Diaspora and Returnees at gmail.com, and that number that I've given. There are many other ways you can reach me, but I think those are the main and official ones that one can reach me through, and I'll get you sorted. And I have the YouTube channel, Diaspora and Returnees. I'll be sharing more stories and investment opportunities and interviews with other people. People should like that page, hit the notification bell so you cannot miss on any other video, and please subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Diaspora and Returnees. More videos are coming, more information, more opportunities, more interesting stuff. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're most welcome. We'll have you again when you're giving us, success stories of the people who probably, they were conned, but when they came and you turned things around.
I would be happy to get back here with you.
Thank you very much.
Most welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
So that was Jeff. Jeff is absolutely passionate about the people who are in the diaspora. He's seen very many people who've lost their property and their money to rogue contractors here and there, and we hope that those people who are in the diaspora and also here have learned a thing or two. Thank you so much for joining us, and as always, please give us a thumbs up at the bottom of your screen.